the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
Caleb Williams finally fires back and gives an explanation over the recent ESPN report. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, Bears fans, as you guys are already probably aware, Caleb Williams finally spoke to the media today prior to the Chicago Bears OTA practice. And first and foremost, my initial reaction was he handled it very well, very mature. Got right to it, didn't allow the media to ask him questions at first. He just went right into it, explained his reasoning. So what I'm going to do on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, just in case you guys haven't already seen it, I'm going to go ahead and play this short little clip of Caleb Williams addressing the recent ESPN reports and the book going out from ESPN writer Seth Rickersham, and just him responding to those reports to the Chicago Bears media. Check this out, Bears fans.
Let's get this started. First, let's start off with it is what everybody would love to ask about is this whole storm that happened. It wasn't something that we wanted to happen at this point. We're focused on the present. We're focused on now. We're focused on, trying to get this ship moving in the right direction. And I think so far that's what we've been doing. But for this to come out, it's been a distraction. So coming up here and talking about it and addressing it is important today. And so that's what we're here to do. Next is all that went down, all that was said. Yeah, I had a good visit at the other place. Minnesota, with Ken O'Connell, good staff and all of that. Obviously, he just won Coach of the Year award and things like that. So obviously good staff and things like that. But something that keeps getting lost, something that keeps getting, I think, not being addressed the way it needs to be, is the fact that, I went on that visit first, came here, and then after I came here, I went back home, talked to my dad, and, all of the things that were supposed to be these big things that everybody's been talking about recently. One never happened in the sense of they were all thoughts. They were all ideas. And I think if you're in the situation, I think if your son or daughter, anybody is in a situation to be in that position, I think you think about all of the options and, and you look at it, the history and the facts and all these different things. Those are thoughts that go throughout your head in those situations. So, all of those were thoughts. And then after I came on my visit here, it was a deliberate answer and deliberate and determined answer that I had, is that I wanted to come here. And just like Ben spoke about, obviously, the past years, as everybody knows, it's a fact that quarterback play, there hasn't been a 4,000-yard passer. There's, all these different things that come up. And so, being able to have those thoughts is I think, fair to be able to have, good and bad thoughts. But like I said, I came here on a visit. And like I said, just like Ben said, it's a challenge to be able to come in here and try and turn around. And that was the main goal of all of that, is to, through all of, what was, going on, through all of what happened in last year and previous years, I think that was enticing. I think that was something that was glaring to me, that I wanted to come here and be the guy and be a part and be a reason on why Chicago Bears turn this thing around. So that last thing that was said and all of that, I think, was the most important thing, is that I wanted to be here, that I love being here. I love my teammates. I love all the people that got me here, family, friends, Ryan, Kevin, Floos and Shane, all those guys that, went through all of that process with me to get me here. But it was all those things, like I said, were thoughts. But the main goal and the main objective of being here is to turn around. That's why I was selected number one. And so, that's what we're here to do. That's what they brought me here to do. That's what they brought all these guys here to do. Joe, DJ, all these different guys. And that's why they brought Ben here. And so, like I said, it's a challenge. And we look at those challenges and, we don't laugh. We look at them really, really seriously. And, we go attack them, to the best of our ability to go and change it and turn it around. So, yeah.
Once again, Bears fans, I feel like Caleb Williams handled this very well, very mature. Obviously, he talked about how those were, once thoughts, but once he had the meeting and the visit with Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears, basically all those thoughts went away, and he was excited for the opportunity to come here and try to change what has been a struggle of the Chicago Bears not having a 4,000-yard passer or a franchise quarterback. And obviously, second, the thoughts of what Ben Johnson has already said, that they're going to use that as motivation to come in here and try to turn things around and try to do something that has never been done in Chicago Bears history, and that is to have a franchise quarterback. So, for me, he brought up the Minnesota Vikings things and talked about how he had a pretty good visit with Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell. And once again, he talked about those thoughts prior to getting to know the Chicago Bears. And once again, we talked about this, that all the thoughts and stuff that, possibly came out of his dad's or Caleb's mouth, what was accurate. The Chicago Bears were where quarterbacks came to die. This is something that the organization has struggled with for years and years and years. So all these thoughts were accurate by Caleb Williams and Caleb Williams' father. But here's the good thing is how he handled it. He handled it straight on the nose. I said, look, I am here now. I love the Chicago Bears. I love the city of Chicago. I love my teammates. I love the fact that I get to come here and be part of trying to solve what's been a struggle for the Chicago Bears, is being the first 4,000-yard passer, trying to win the Chicago Bears another Super Bowl. Most importantly, just trying to be a mainstay in a franchise quarterback for an organization that has never had one. So once again, kudos to Caleb Williams. There was one part after, he gave this statement, a Chicago Bears media person asked him one of the dumbest questions I think I've ever heard in my lifetime. He asked Caleb Williams, "Does your dad speak for you?" Like, what kind of question is that? After he gave that nice long 4-minute statement on addressing the Seth Wickersham thing, the ESPN reports, and how he didn't want to be a Chicago Bear, Caleb Williams did a beautiful job, but then they instantly asked dumb questions like that. So once again, now we can finally, hopefully, put this to bed. This is what most Chicago Bears media people wanted. I wasn't too distraught over him not speaking right away on this ESPN report, but now that he gave his explanation about everything and finally put it to bed, hopefully Chicago Bears media members, content creators, even NFL analysts can just finally bury this under the road, and now we can focus on what's at hand, and that is trying to get back to the playoffs. Hopefully Caleb Williams can take that jump in year 2. He did mention in that little segment, in that statement, saying that he felt like it was causing a distraction. So once again, just showing leadership, showing maturity from our second-year quarterback in Caleb Williams. I am happy that it's finally, hopefully, done with. But once again, when you have Chicago Bears media members asking questions like, "Does your dad speak for you?" It definitely doesn't help the situation. But once again, good on Caleb Williams. So Bears fans, how do you guys feel about Caleb Williams' statement addressing the Seth Wickersham book and ESPN reports? Let me know down below in the comment section. I did want to make one little note before I let you guys go on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, is that Aju Chapillo has actually been taking all of first team reps at left tackle for the last couple of practices. Obviously, Karan Amagashi got all the reps in last Wednesday's practice. So obviously, Ben Johnson said it's going to be a battle all summer long, and I am definitely here for it. And they even said that Aju Chapillo, against the starting defense, held his own when he took the first team reps at left tackle. So that's obviously a good sign. Chapillo has all the tools available to be a starting caliber left tackle, and probably even a pretty good one in the National Football League. And I'm just happy that Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears are doing their due diligence to make sure they have the best starting 5 possible out there. to protect Caleb Williams going into year 2. So just wanted to bring up that little note of Audrey Trapillo taking first team reps at left tackle. But other than that, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.